If you lived in the early 2000s as a businessman, then the car of choice was plentiful. With BMW saloons and Audi estates, there were a vast amount of commuter cars to choose from, all of which were reliable and fast. But what if you wanted something a bit different?
Something like this might take your fancy, an early Lexus IS200. It's a very handsome car and quite unique compared to the rivals at the time. There were various specifications of this car, the S and Sport models and the LE. This is the SE model, which is the earlier one. Let's see what it's like to drive. So then, straight away to drive, it's very smooth. Its suspension's very sort of in the middle, not too soft, not too hard. And the steering is actually really good through the bends. I mean, it's obviously competing with the 3 Series and all the other saloon cars. So it's got to be a proper driver's car, really. It's got a 2-litre petrol engine, which is actually buttery smooth. It's really nice along these roads, and it produces around 153 horsepower, which is pretty good compared to the rivals at the time. It's got a really nice grunt sound to it. It's very sort of sporty sounding if you listen. Yes. Of course, it's a rear-wheel drive, which is perfect because it's pretty much going up against the E46 at the time, and obviously you can do lots of drifting, so it's got that Japanese sort of flavour to it as well. I'm actually quite a big fan of the dials on this car as well, and a fun fact about them is the guy at the design meeting, when he turned up, he was actually late, and he looked at his watch and said, that's actually a really good idea for a dash or a dial. So that's what they've done. They've pretty much made it into a clock. Well, it looks like a clock at least. So we move on to the interior, and it's very Japanesey themed. It's got a interesting cloth seats, which are sort of like a midnight purple. It's very Japanese vibes there. And we have some standard features across the car overall, like air conditioning, heated seats, a radio. There's actually a cassette player there as well. The steering wheel is nice as well. It's got this sort of sporty feel to it. It's very thin, but it's also quite weighted. And the dials, again, are very Japanese. They're sort of tilted towards the driver in some aspects. It's also got things like cruise control and automatic lights, and as you can see there's a sunroof here which you can put away as well. That's cool. I don't know how you get it out again. We'll live with that. And then we have an automatic gearbox here, which obviously you can get on a manual as well. There's some manual options, and then there's 2 buttons here that says PWR, I assume that's power, and snow. I don't think those are sort of buttons that you want together, to be honest. I don't think you want lots of power on some snow, but there we are, there's an option for that. But overall the interior is pretty plush. So then we'll move back to the rear seats, and as you can see the legroom is pretty okay overall. The seats are again quite comfortable. There's only 2 seats here, you can't really get someone in the middle, but who needs that? It's a luxurious, sort of cheap, luxurious car. The headroom also is not too bad. I mean, I'm not the tallest, but I'm sure Matty would probably struggle in here. And we've got some light reading back here as well. How very early 2000s is this? CDs all over the place. Look at this. Excellent. And obviously you've got 2 cup holders back here and some storage on the doors. So then we'll move to the boot space, and as you can see, being a saloon, it's not going to be the most amazing, but the boot does open. Well, it should open properly. There we are. Well, Matty, how are you doing?
Yes, good, thanks.
What are you reading?
The Grand Tour.
Upside down. Yeah. Nice. And what's your experience like in being in the boot, being a 6-foot Scouser?
Very, very good. I'm very comfortable in the back here.
That's a good mark for Lexus then.
Good mark for Lexus, and good mark for everybody, because I'm no longer of risk to society when I'm locked in here.
Well, exactly. That's the main reason why I put you in there, because you did nick my watch, but we digress. What do you think of the... I mean, you've got even things in here as well, and you're still fitting perfectly well.
I've got everything I need. I've got crisps, I've got water, jump leads in case I get a bit sluggish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great in here. Just one question though.
Yes.
Why are you wearing my coat?
Well, you're wearing my coat.
No, I'm not.
Overall, the Lexus IS200 is a nice car to drive. It is renowned for its technical expertise, and the performance doesn't disappoint. The ride and handling is good, and I think it's a nice option if you want something practical and reliable.
So there we have it, that's the Lexus IS200, and I think overall it's a great car. It's cheap to buy, and it's
an absolutely fantastic car, isn't it?
yes, I don't want to say that in front of you because, you know, you'll just make a big thing about it.
Alan Partridge had one.
But yeah, Matty, I think it's a good car. It's Japanese, obviously. You've gone that route for once, which is
You need to go back to your roots. Get rid of your British Land Rover and buy one of these. I urge you.
That's consumer advice, is what he's done there.
Right there.
Even you send that to the viewers as well.
Yes,
That's,
I'm saying that
advice.
everybody should buy the remainder of these that are left on Auto Trader. There's plenty to go around.
There is, and they're all pretty good for price as well.
Yeah.
Below £5,000.
And prices will only go up, consumers. They will only go up.
Well, Matty, thanks for ruining my review.
Sorry about that. I'll get back in the boot.
Yeah, please do. I will take you home. So that is the Lexus IS200, and we do hope you enjoyed this review with the Matty's collab as well. And we'll see you next time.
I genuinely don't know how I'm going to get in here.
It's not going to work, mate.
It will work. I will get in.
It's quite funny. Matty's you've just basically buried yourself in there. It's actually quite impressive. It's not going to stay. I've done it wrong. Well, I don't know. We're just going to have a conversation.
All right, okay.
That's fine. We'll just carry on.